The Grow Your Wealth Conference is almost here. If you're a seasoned or aspiring entrepreneur ready to elevate your business and personal finances by learning from experienced, impactful, world-class entrepreneurs, then this conference is for you. Grow Your Wealth is happening over 2 days in Kingston, Jamaica, with unique speakers, business networking opportunities, actionable teachings, a business pitch competition, and access to an engaged community. So save the date and get your tickets now. Tickets and more information are available at learngrowinvestconference.com.
All right, let's try this one more time. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Very strange. Can you hear me now? Oh my gosh, okay. I had to go back for a very old piece of equipment. Okay. All right, cool. Thank you for your patience. I guess anything can happen at any time. Okay. So welcome to this episode where I'm going to be talking about the US market versus the Jamaican market. So I was saying that for those of you who don't have a US market account, you should. And I'm going to show you how to sign up for one. For those of you who are brand new to the Jamaican stock market as well, I'll show you how to open that account as well. And so I'll just get that out of the way quickly so that you at least know where to start, right? And once I get that out of the way very quickly, I'll talk about the differences that I've seen just from I've been investing in both markets. So I started investing first back in 2016, 2017. Sometimes I honestly don't remember which year exactly I started. I just remember which investment I started with. Then I started to invest in cryptocurrencies. Then I started to invest in the US markets, and then everything just kind of has been, I've been doing all three since. I've also invested in real estate. I've invested in a startup. I've done quite a bit of different investments, and all I'm going to be doing is just sharing what I've seen in the different markets. This one specifically, the US markets versus the local market, because I think it's worth paying attention to if you have not started to invest in the US markets yet. Now, I'm not going to touch on some of the things that I think may be concerning only because I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, honestly. So I'll keep it very high level. But let me bring up my slides here. So what I'm going to show you, we've already covered on this channel. So if you are a brand new investor, I am anticipating that you may be better served by just watching the full videos that I'm going to show you on these things. So I'm not going to go in depth by any means. So I just want you to bear that in mind, right? Not going to go in depth in terms of how to get started, because we've covered this before on our channel. So I just wanted to share that. And if you have questions as I go, just feel free to share them. But I'm going to be talking about really the differences between the markets. That's what I want to get to. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time in terms of how to get set up, because I only have an hour to work with. All right. So this is from our investment challenge, which we did earlier this year. And we did 5 videos over 5 days. On day 3, we touched on how to invest in the US market. So the full video here, I want you to go back and watch if you want the full thing, right? So either one that you're going to be investing in Jamaica or the US, you want to set some investment goals. If you don't know how to set investment goals, these are the kind of things that I'll cover in my coaching program or my one-on-one consultation. So if you want to meet with me to discuss how to set realistic financial goals, I can help you do that, right? But a very simple example is that I may say I have a goal to own my own home in 5 years. There are still some pieces that you would need from that goal in order to get to a place where you know what to invest in. So I'm not touching on any of that stuff right now. Once you've set the goal, though, you want to research which assets will get you as close to that goal as possible. And usually you want to have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. Because if you choose stocks and you don't get to that goal, what's your plan B, right? So again, these are things that I can go in depth if we're working one-on-one. So if you're interested in that, just DM me. I will talk about it. And then third, before you go, diving right in, you want to test your assumptions for a short period of time, right? There are times when honestly I've seen where you need to make a quick decision. And I was actually coaching a client this week and I said to her, it's important to be decisive, right? We were trying to bring down her portfolio in terms of the number of stocks that she had based on some work we've been doing. And I said to her, it's very important that you're decisive. Sometimes you just need to make a decision, right? But first, there has to be some testing. So you test first, and then you go ahead and decide what to do, right? So this part now, it has to do with the Jamaica Stock Exchange. I'll touch on both, as I said, very, very quickly. But there are a couple of ways that you can buy stocks in Jamaica, right? You sign up for your brokerage account, and you need standard stuff, proof of address, proof of income. You may need an initial deposit that ranges from $0 all the way up to $1 million, right? Sometimes brokers will waive this based on if it's an IPO, they may be able to facilitate your application, but it varies per broker. If you want to know which brokers I prefer, it really depends on what you're looking for, right? So different brokers do different things really well, and different brokers handle their customer service very, very differently. So there are some brokers that I try to be hands-off with. There are some brokers that I prefer just to set up my JTrade account and not interact with them. And there are other brokers that make it a little bit easier to work with, all right? But either way, you can buy stocks in Jamaica one out of these three ways. Email or call your broker, use a broker app or a website, or use JTrader Pro. We have a video to help you to use JTrader Pro already, so I won't get into that. For the international side, the only thing I recommend that you use right now, as at 2024 November 8th, is Interactive Brokers. I have a referral link that I'll post in the description of this video, and that can get you started for an account. You can fund that account in multiple ways. You can use Wise, even though that's getting trickier by the day. The other way that I would recommend is to open a local US account, and you can use that US account to fund your Interactive Brokers account. I do not recommend, based on the current fee structure, for you to buy shares in the US market through a broker, because most of them have a fee that you have to pay to make that purchase. But if you use Interactive Brokers directly, you don't have that fee. So though some local brokers offer that option, I wouldn't consider it affordable, especially if you're just starting out. So if you want to, for example, maybe manage a large transaction and it's a set fee, I think the last fee I heard about was about $50 per transaction. So that $50 fee is more than what you would pay to transfer the funds from a USD account in Jamaica to an account in the US, and then you can make your own purchase. And that's what we teach you here to do on this platform. And then, of course, if you want one-on-one support, that can be offered as well. So the Interactive Brokers app allows you to do that, and that's how you do it. So those are the two ways, really. We have videos on both. If you need help on that, again, feel free to reach out. All right, so I got that stuff out the way. Now, based on what I've seen, there are a couple of differences, right, between the local market and the US market. And these are, I like to say the differences aren't good or bad necessarily. It just depends on how you look at it, because the truth is there's a nuance to our local market which makes it a little bit interesting to invest. And what I mean by that is this: I heard, I think, I don't know if it was a CEO I heard say it. I don't recall right now, but there is a way in which you may find that companies in the Jamaican market may not trade based on fundamentals, right? Or it's majority of the performance of the stock itself is not based on the performance of the company, meaning there's more nuance to it. Now, I have a way in which I view that, which I've mentioned before, but that's one of the nuances that I've seen. Now, there are ways that you can overcome this. And what I teach persons is to understand the entire market. So you want to factor in the what we call the fundamentals. You want to factor in the sentiment that's for that company or in the space at the time. You want to factor in any qualitative thing as well, because that's going to impact how the company's stock performs, right? So it's not just one thing that you're looking at, which, again, as I said, it's not good or bad. It's just you understanding how the market works, which is a part of what you do when you're investing. Most persons expect it to be just easy, like you just buy something, wait 10 years, and that's it. If it was that easy, literally anybody could do it. Now, it's the easiest it's ever been, but it's not that easy, meaning you want to ensure that you're doing some amount of research. And I think if you spend 2 hours, just 2 hours on your portfolio each month, tracking maybe what's happening, reading the paper, looking at any articles or videos that come out about the companies that you have, you can manage your portfolio fairly well. But this is also why that I mentioned a few weeks ago that you should not have more than 4 to 6 stocks in your portfolio anyway, right? For those saying, well, Jermaine, I can't manage my portfolio in 2 hours a month. If you can't manage it, you probably have too many stocks, right? Because, again, I covered that before. I won't go there. So let me talk about the US markets now for a little bit. And if you have questions as I'm going through, let me know. This is not going to be a presentation type video. This is going to be just me sharing my thoughts on both. We may look at the US markets a little bit because that's the main focus that I have for today. But I'm just talking about my experiences with both, sharing some of the tips and best practices that I've seen with both. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be encouraging you to take action regardless of which you choose. And that's the idea. So if you have questions that can help us guide the conversation, feel free to share them. I'd like to know, probably before I continue, how many persons here are investing in both markets right now? Put both in the comments. So put both on YouTube, put both on Instagram, or if you're only investing in one, tell me which one you're investing in. So if you're only investing in Jamaica, put Jamaica in the chat. If you're only investing in the US markets, put US markets. If you're doing both, put both. So I can get an idea as to who is here. All right, so I'll allow you to do that for a few minutes until I see where everybody is at. And then that could also help me know where to focus as well. All right. All right, so I see Humble Boss said JC, Roger says both, Julian says both, Inspiration says both. Prince Mosiah says JC only. Prince, I sent you a message on Instagram. You didn't respond to me. Just a heads up that I messaged you. A Plus Trading says only JC. So far, the persons that are responding are mostly Jamaica. Okay. So that tells me that I need to probably give you more information about the US, right? Because that would make sense. If you're only doing JC, you probably want to hear more about the US market. I'm making an assumption here that everybody who watches our channel is at least familiar with the Jamaican market, right? So Interactive Brokers is a platform that I use for the US markets. As I mentioned, it's easy to fund. I fund it in one of two ways. I send funds either from my Bank of America account or from my USD account in Jamaica. I have two different banks. I have a JMB account for USD and I have an NCB account for USD. Both of which are fairly easy to do a transfer from, and I pay about $20 to $30 per transfer, right? So as I said, that's cheaper than what I've seen in terms of what the brokers charge you to invest in the US markets directly, right? That may change. I'm not sure if the fees have gone down. And if any broker is watching and you have a more affordable way, I welcome you to reach out to me so we can share it with our audience. But what I've been doing is say to persons, use Interactive Brokers because that would be easier for you and you have full control. All right. So let's look at the US markets for a second. So I'm gonna talk about, okay, so how you can do it, Humble Boss. So this is the question. I'm gonna put it on screen. How can you transfer from one to the next? So when you go to, let me log into my Interactive Brokers account now. Let me see here. 1 second, I'm just authenticating. Do I still have the app on my phone? Yes, I do. Okay, here we go. I was worried because the last time I was live and I tried to log into my Interactive Brokers account, it did not work. So I'm happy that it's working now because I don't want to seem, why is it telling me that I have documents to submit? Okay, hold on. I'm going to put this up on screen. I think I'm okay. Hold on. All right, so let me find, I'm going to find that section for you. How to fund the account. Okay, so I'm going to go to that screen. I'm going to share my screen, Humble Boss, for you to see. Again, if you have questions, let me know. I want to take as many questions as I can. I see a question from April's Trading, which is better to me, JSC or USA? Now I've made, which one I've made the most from? I've actually made most of my profits from the JSC, right? Yes, Shells, I do have it linked. I do have it linked. But what I want to do is show Humble Boss how to do it, assuming that I don't know which he has, right? So you can do this, Humble Boss, in terms of these are the options that it gives you for depositing funds to your Interactive Brokers account. So you can do a bank wire transfer. It says you can do a direct ACH transfer from your bank. You can link your bank accounts. I've linked my Bank of America account. You can transfer from Wise. I've never done the online bill pay or mail a check, right? I'm assuming we're not going to do that. So these are your options, 4 options that you have here to use Humble Boss. So hopefully that helps. So you would use a bank wire transfer, right? So you just click on more information. I think it will show you the details there. So that's what I would do. All right. It should show get instructions here. I'll be sending out. Yeah. So just go through these steps, right? It's supposed to give you the details of the account, like name on the account, routing number, ABA number, that kind of stuff. it should give you. I'm being very careful of what I click because I don't want to show my personal account details, but that's how you do it, Humble Boss. Hopefully that was helpful for you. So let me come out of this section here. So that's how you do it, right? Okay, great. And truth is, if you have any questions, you can message in our Telegram group, as you know. Just send me a message or post in the US markets group and we'll try to help you. All right. So let me show you a couple of things. So I was talking about the US markets and I was saying that, well, A Plus Trading had asked me which one I've made the most money from. It's really the JSE because that's where I've created the most content. That's where I spend the most time. So I'm more intimate with that market. For the US markets, I have what do you call it now? I have really just taken the buy and hold strategy. For the US markets, I'm not looking to do any short-term trades. I'm not looking to buy any IPOs. It's a much simpler investing strategy for the US markets, but I can say the most gains that I've made in terms of percentage wise, the average is going to be the US markets, right? Because it's just done better for me in that, probably partly because I've just bought it and held. On the local market, sometimes because it's so sentiment driven, I may find myself being worried that if I don't lock in my gains early enough, I may lose it. And so there are times when I may actually sell too early and miss out on that gain, right? So I'm actually going to take just a short break here and then I'll be right back, okay?
Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest. Learning is the key to successful investing, and who doesn't want to invest in some way?
Here at L.E.A.R.N Grow Invest, we focus on financial education, all with the aim of sharing our knowledge on personal finance, investing, and building wealth. We do this on the foundation of our faith in God.
If a more holistic approach is what you need, check out our Grow Faith-based financial coaching program.
Find out more about us at learngrowinvestclub.com
and follow us on all social media platforms at Learn, Grow, Invest.
All right. So, such as Shell saying, if you have a bank account in the USA, ACH and online bill payment method is free. Wires at a fee. Interesting. I never knew that. Okay, so I'll try that out, Shells. Thank you for that, as usual. All right. Any other questions reinvesting in the US markets? Okay. So let me tell you how that should be, how you should approach it. Now, I a major difference between the two markets can be just the number of options that you have. Now, so the US market, I would say, focus on companies that you're familiar with. And we actually did a US market stocks to watch, me and David Rose, maybe about 2 months ago. You want to think about the US market in industries that you know, in companies that you know, right? So for example, let me use a simple example. Let me share my screen. I'm on Yahoo Finance here. This is one of the tools that I use. Let me search for one of them that we covered last time. I think Price Smart. If you're in Jamaica, you know about Price Smart. So I can start with this one. And I'm going to look at the last 5 years, right? Because I want you to see just, how things might have been progressing over like the long period, right? Am I looking at the right thing here? 5 years. One sec, let me just see. Let me go to a platform I'm more familiar with, just in case I am not looking at the right thing. One sec there. I'm more familiar with Ticker. I've spent more time with that. I don't think it's showing me the right data. Why is it that you don't have my password? Oh, I get why this is not the same browser. Okay. Yeah, so I was saying start with a company like maybe PriceSmart, Airbnb, about Microsoft, Facebook, Netflix. Stick with companies that you know, and that's a perfect way to test out how they're performing, right? That's what I'd say. So let's look at PriceSmart. This is the last 5 years, right? So you could see where, let me go full screen. That'd be a little better. Is it gone 5 years ago? Okay, so 5 years ago. All right, so I'll get to this question in a sec. Roger, who is in waste management? Which company? Hold on one sec here. Okay, let me answer this question that Shells is asking. So Shells, I don't think I mentioned my money JA for the US markets because I'm not sure they covered that. I know they covered the JSC market. If you need help with support, I can maybe try and get somebody to help you, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anybody else who maybe works with them or works with the app, because I don't think I've ever heard an issue in terms of support for them before. But maybe you can try messaging them on, I think, X or Instagram. I'm not sure. But if you're not able to get through, just let me know. I can maybe try and get in touch with them for you. But yeah, I don't have that level of experience to speak on it either way. So Kezi, welcome. So you want to use an app called Interactive Brokers. I meant just go back a few, maybe like 10 minutes or so. I would have gone through it. But you use a platform called Interactive Brokers, easy to sign up. We have a video that goes over the whole process. I'll send it to you, Kezi, on WhatsApp. All right. So Rochelle says, I'm up 65% with Walmart for my account and my son's account as well. Yes. So companies like, well, while Walmart, we're looking at PriceSmart. So let's continue there. So PriceSmart 5 years ago. So maybe 5 years ago is not the best period because that was the pandemic really. But if you look at it, and maybe it's actually a good point because you would see how much they've grown. right? So from March 2020, which was when the pandemic was upon us, it's now at $90, right? So it's pretty much done 100% in 4 years, right? And we know that for the Jamaican market during that time, I cannot say, maybe apart from a company like Trans Jamaica, maybe a company like, I'd have to look to see, but Ticker allows me to view both, so we can check on the local market in a second. But this is to show you a company like PriceSmart, which you're familiar with, which if you look at how they've performed in Jamaica, you've seen them open a location in Portmore. You've seen them, I believe they started their foundation work here. But you've gone into PriceSmart and see them literally expand their products and services over the last few years. If you want to get an understanding as to how they perform, just go to their website or look at the countries that they're in. I'm sure they've been opening new locations, adding new products and to their portfolio and so on, right? So you know them as a brand that's growing, right? And if you look at just the last year, it's saying here 33.8% in the last year. So in the last 12 months, it's gone from $65 to $90. All right. So you're seeing, I cannot think of 10 companies in Jamaica who've done 33% in the last year. Now, again, I'm not saying that one is better than the other. What I'm making the case for here is both. I'm making the case for both markets, right? So you want to have the opportunity to make money in US. You want to have the opportunity to get your dividend in the US and reinvest. And you want to have the chance to be able to work or invest in a market that is extremely dynamic. All right. So let's look at something else here. There's another company that you all know. Let me choose one like Netflix. I think everybody here has a Netflix subscription. So we can work with that. Let's see how they've done in the last 5 years. Go full screen. Let's do 5 years. So 5 years ago, they were at $290. Now they're at almost $800, right? So 167%, it's saying over 5 years. All right. And if you look at the last 12 months, it's 82%. Right. So this is if you, again, just working with companies that you know. I'm not going to look at NVIDIA's chart because that's just going to be ridiculous, but let's probably do it for the fun of it, right? Because I think NVIDIA in terms of percentage is probably in the thousands, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see, NVIDIA in the last 5 years is 2,600%, right? Of course, nobody could have predicted that, but it's this, again, I guess this probably makes a case as well that you can have a company just go parabolic essentially in the US. I'm not sure. I've seen maybe the move by Barita a few years ago when it went from like $8 to $100. That's the only stock I can think of on our market for maybe the last 7 or 8 years that would have done anything like this, right? So again, that's just what you're seeing in terms of the US market. And now there's also another side to it in terms of the opportunity to buy into ETFs, for example. So ETF is going to be a basket of stocks that gives you the option to, for example, you can get a cryptocurrency ETF, you can get a tech company ETF, and you have just so many options, and all from your Interactive Brokers account. You can essentially take advantage of that, right? Yeah, so Fesco's, wasn't it 80 cents? Well, let me see here. What do you think about a US recession in 25-26? It's all a trend for all Republican presidents over the last 40 years. Wall Street is counting on it. I've been waiting, but I'm tired of waiting. Okay, So what does the recession mean for you? All right, how are you viewing the recession? Do you see it as one that you have the recession, then a short recovery? Because the thing is, usually after any major run up, there is some amount of correction. Now, is there going to be a full on recession? I don't know. All right. And the truth is, if there is a recession, again, that would provide you with an opportunity to buy, but you can still make money while you're waiting to see what will happen, because there are principles that you can leverage, right? You're not just going to, as I said, buy and hold forever. You're going to make decisions on your portfolio. So if there is a recession, so let's say you purchase and you're up 40%, 50%, and your company goes down 20%, then you should take your profit and wait to see what the market does, right? So that's how I look at it. Priscilla is asking, do I invest in crypto? Yes, I do. I have started in crypto from 2017. Actually bought crypto before I bought any local stocks, right? My first purchase was a cryptocurrency called Omisego, right? I don't know if you've heard about it, but it was called OMG. And we bought that first when it was about $9 or $10. I remember how my heart skipped a beat the first time we bought it. It went up and then it had some form of correction, and it went from $12 to like $6, $7. I was freaking out. And then we started to see the markets recover, and it went all the way up to $30, right? So $9 average price, it went up to $30. So I was up 200%. And then the markets crashed. That was when Bitcoin went to like $17,000 and crashed. And Omisego never recovered. It never went up again. And I think I'm still holding it, or I don't remember if I sold it, but I'm using Binance to trade crypto. I do have my long-term portfolio in crypto that I hold. I'm holding Ethereum and ADA and some others in that long-term portfolio. I need to really check to see how I can get access to them, because it's been so long. I don't use the information often. It's like logging into your bank account after a year or two of not using it, right? So what's the issue you're having, Priscilla? Let me know the issue that you're having. Maybe I can help. So let me know. All right. Okay. So Rochelle says recession equals opportunities. I agree. The problem is, let me tell you the problem with a recession for most of us. You can look at the pandemic as somewhat of a recession effect on the markets. What happened to me, and I'll share this openly with you guys. When I was at the point that the pandemic started, I was really using margin a lot. So I used margin to purchase stocks. And when the pandemic came, I had to wait a long time for those stocks to recover. So I was paying interest on my margin account monthly. And I can actually show you how this played out for me, right? So when I just bought, and I'm going to share my screen again while I'm explaining this. Okay, so Priscilla saying, have some funds in a wallet and I'm not able to withdraw from Binance. Now you're making me nervous. You make me want to check my portfolio and see if I can. Binance has been in the press a lot. Yeah. I have maybe like $1,000 on the platform, so it's not something that, like, honestly, I'm gonna lose sleep over if it is that I don't have access to it. And that's why I have my long-term portfolio inside the wallet. So I just need to remember how to access the wallet, of course. So Sean, I use Interactive Brokers exclusively. I do have a TD Ameritrade account, a Morgan Stanley account, a Fidelity account. But I use Interactive Brokers mainly. So Javane is asking, how do I purchase stocks on the US market? We have a video that goes through it, but the short version of it, you open an Interactive Brokers account, you fund the account, and you're good from there. All right, if you want to learn how to invest, that's what you'd reach out to me for. Okay, so I think, yes, I'm back to looking at Trans-Jamaica Highway. So I'm telling you guys about the story of what happened to me in 2020, right? So in 2020, I would have had margin on Trans-Jamaica, right? So I don't remember the day that it opened, but you're seeing here the IPO was $1.41. And you see here it's 129. I think it went down as low as 110, right? So this is in April. And it stayed here. So all of these months here, you see that it's going, I'm paying margin. And I'm paying margin. I think right around March is when I decided to, so I was paying margin for almost a year, right? And I decided to, okay, I'm not going to maintain this now. I'm just going to sell. I'm going to repay the margin to clear it off. And then what I would do is just purchase, redirect or rebalance my portfolio to be able to buy my Trans-Jamaica shares outright. So that's what I did. So I started buying at around 120, right? And then I think in 2022, still at 120, and around January was when I started to take buying it seriously, right? And then you guys have seen the performance since. I talk about it all the time. So Shells, here's the thing. I want to have multiple accounts because one, when I look at what happened with SSL, I really can't afford that. Now, one time I moved all my stocks to one brokerage account because I wanted to negotiate the commission with that broker, right? So this is a kind of like a power tip that you probably have never heard anywhere else. If you want to negotiate with your broker in Jamaica on their commission that they charge you for trading, you need to show that your portfolio is of a certain size. So what I did at one point, I moved all of my stocks to one portfolio, and then I negotiated a lower rate with that broker for every transaction that I do. So I was able to do that, but then over time, I still kind of built up my portfolio for other brokers as well. So you never know. You never know. The good thing is during the time that I did that consolidation, I actually closed my SSL account. I'll never forget it. They charged me about $2,700 to transfer my account because I had to pay for the transfer and they had a fee. I was very annoyed at it, but I paid it. I did away with them. So when I heard about what happened, I was so happy that I did the move from them. All right. So fees. Let me check. Let me check on this, Philip, for you. Let me look at the last transaction that I did. And oh, it logged me out already. Okay. Didn't realize that I was showing my screen. You see how those things happen? So let me try to log in here. Okay. Should come up in a second. No, I have 8 brokers in Jamaica and 4 in the US. All right, so I'm going to look at my last transaction for you, Philip, and let you know. But I thought it was very small. All right. I'll look at year to date, view. And I'm just not sharing this part, guys, because I don't want to share my sensitive information. But as soon as I have the information on the screen, I'll just share again. All right, so this time is going very quickly. So let me know if you have any questions, because I'm going to end this stream in about an hour. But, okay. All right, so it's, let me see. So my last purchase was, okay. So Philip, I paid on my last purchase, I bought some NVIDIA shares. The transaction cost me 40 cents and the commission was $1. And then I see something called other for 6 cents. So the total was $1.46, Philip, is what I paid, right? The value for that transaction, the total I spent was about $300 for that, right? Yeah, so I don't know the percentage, but I think that's pretty good, right? So that is what it cost me. So it's a very, very so I don't trade options. I would love to learn. I reached out to someone once to teach me, but it somehow never worked out, right? 2 free US brokers should be good. Yeah, I mean, 2 is fine. So I got Fidelity and Morgan Stanley because I worked at Microsoft, and that's where they sent our stock purchase plan to. And for Morgan Stanley, that's where I just wanted to have the 2 options, because I figured I wouldn't be able to open those accounts if I wasn't living in the US. So I took the opportunity to open it. And once it was opened, I just kept it. So even though I transferred all my Microsoft shares when I left to Morgan Stanley, I still have the Fidelity account. You never know. So Sean, I've actually never pulled any money. So that's also one thing that I do. I don't pull any money from the US markets. I leave it with Interactive Brokers, and I just do all of my transactions that way. So now if one time I sold some Microsoft shares to pay down on a house, so I would have transferred straight from Fidelity. Let me see if I still have access to that, by the way. Let me try that, because maybe I can show that I haven't logged in this year in a long time. So I've heard people make some ridiculous money with options. I just, like, I don't know, right? Let me see. Okay, so it's telling me that I need to fill out the form before I continue, because it's close to the end of the year, and I need to fill out this form. I can share it. I need to fill out this form before I continue. So unfortunately, I can't show you now. But with all of your US accounts, same for Interactive Brokers, probably they're gonna ask you to fill out something to maintain your account. Do I have any views on the Interactive Broker Stock Yield Enhancement Program? I think that's a program where you can lend your shares. I believe I've signed up for it. I don't think they've ever been used, but why not? If you have the opportunity to lend your shares, make a profit from it, and you pretty much still will have the shares when you're ready, I don't see why not. Let me see if I'm missing any questions. I think I've gotten all of them. Yeah, so let me see what else I wanted to say. The hour went by pretty quickly, but for those who are just joining, or for those who might have missed most of it, I'm making the case that you want to invest both in the US markets and the Jamaica markets, whereas the Jamaica market gives you the ability to get started quickly. You're usually going to fund it in Jamaican dollars, of course. You have a smaller amount of stocks to work with, but it's actually a very great way to get started. It does have its nuances, as I mentioned, where you're going to find that it's not going to be how they teach investing, for example, in the US. So if you watch, for example, Brian Ferraldi, which is a great friend of ours, if you watch his content and try and apply his content to the Jamaica market, it won't work. But it's a great avenue, right, to make money and build wealth. That's the Jamaican market. And so I'll never say it's one over the other. But as you see, the title of the video says, I do make a considerable amount from my US portfolio just based on the pace at which it grows, how dynamic it is, how responsive it is, right? Because imagine a company does great in terms of performance, you are going to see it in the results the very next day. In Jamaica, you don't have that, right? So I should probably do a checklist. I probably do a shorter video, do a checklist so you can see both, because I just want you to understand what comes with both. So persons like Kezi, who is just starting, I want you to appreciate the differences between the two. So for the US market, you have to consider how you're going to fund the account. I recommend opening a USD account in Jamaica, buy US as a part of your savings, fund the account, and send the money up. If you need to send it back down, I'm sure you can do that. And do both. So if you normally invest $20,000, $30,000 in your Jamaican portfolio, do half and half. Do 15,000 in Jamaica, do 100 US, and build both, right? Because when I started to invest in the US market, the US was valued at maybe $110 thereabout. Now it's 160. So I've also gained in terms of my USD appreciating in value. So whenever I sell shares, and the one time that I did the transfer, I was able to, I think at the time the US was like 140, 145. So I got that gain in terms of my USD as well, and not just the stocks that I was selling. All right, so I'm advocating for both. If you need help, we can do a session together to go through it, but I do have videos already that you can watch to learn how to do it. And that's what I wanted to say. Hopefully I answered your questions. And if you have any, I can wait 1 more minute and see if there are any questions. Let me check on Instagram. It's nice to see so many persons joining us on Instagram, by the way. And so I'll talk about crypto one day, but we used to do some crypto videos. They don't perform well on our channel. I think not many Jamaicans are investing in crypto to the point where you're interested in hearing about it every week. Milan, let me know what type of help you need. Send me a DM and we can talk about it. So Trans Jamaica report actually came out today. I can't go through it now, but it was a profitable quarter. And so that's all you need to know. And we will keep it moving, right? So I do have, hopefully gonna have an interview with the managing director soon. I did reach out to him, so I need to see what he says, but I really do hope this video at least helped those who are on the fence decide what they're going to do. Again, we've provided videos to help you do both. And so I hope you really take the time, start your portfolio in the US if you haven't done so already. We can point you to the video. The very first thing I'm going to do is point you to the video that we do. If you need help, join our Telegram group. We talk about the US markets in there every day. Persons can answer questions and just get started, right? Roger, I've heard some very interesting things about Robinhood. I don't think I have the confidence in them, unfortunately. And Sean, we will talk about this for sure. So I'm going to be doing a stocks to watch for 2025. I'm going to be hosting that episode solo. I know I usually have some guests on, but there are 5 companies that I'm going to talk about in that 1 hour that I want to really put out from now and let you guys know, so it doesn't seem like I'm jumping on the bandwagon once they start performing in 2025. But I did mention to you that RPL was a stock to watch earlier this year, and I think it has been performing well. I did mention Tropical. Tropical has not performed the way that I was expecting to this point yet, but I'm looking out for their next report. And I did mention to you guys that an IPO is coming out by the end of the year. So I did say that I do think that's still going to happen. So when you see it, just remember that, yeah. Yeah, I have a Schwab account, but I don't use it. I never use it, but I have it. By Robinhood, I wouldn't use them as a broker. Yeah, I wouldn't use them either. Strong no for me as well, unfortunately. And Panjam is a solid company. Limitless podcast did an interview with Jeffrey Hall. I would check out that interview. And yeah, I know of at least one. Maybe I know of more. I can't say. But yeah, we're gonna get something for the Christmas. Okay. Final call for questions before I wrap up this episode. Prince over Telegram saying Trans Jamaica is my best purchase ever. Can I say it's my best purchase? It's my best dividend stock ever. I'd say that. Yeah. So Michael saying Michael, I haven't seen you in a long time. Michael Fraser, I don't think I've seen you in the chat in a long time. Good to see you. I like AIPR ETF. Let me check that out. Let's ticker the ETFs. All right, so this is the one that you just mentioned, Michael. This one, when did you buy? Maybe if you bought at 45 and you're up to 52, but this one it has not given positive appreciation. If this is the right one, is this the right one, Michael? Oh, monthly dividend. Oh, so you're looking at the dividend return. Okay, fair enough. What's the yield on the dividend? Let me see if I can find that here. Oh, 6%. Okay, if you're getting, oh, you're up 6%. Okay. I mean, fair enough. It all depends on when you buy. Tavares, your USD account had better return. Yes. Pretty much that's the short version of the story. I feel like a lot of people hoping to retire in Trans Jamaica. So what I would say to that is, you don't want to take the approach of that you're just gonna to buy and hold forever, because I'll just say, look at what happened in 2020, where a lot of persons were planning to retire in that year and all of the blue chip companies went down. So just bear that in mind. So for those who are planning to retire on a stock like Trans Jamaica, just be sure you invest wisely. All right. Nvidia, of course, Microsoft as well, and others. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I think. Okay, so I see a question on Instagram by Tia. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. She's saying opening an Interactive Brokers account seems cumbersome. Did you share bank statements? Did I share bank statements? It wasn't cumbersome for me. I think what I did is look at what they required of me and just put everything together and just go through it. I did it all in one sitting. So again, if you need help, just maybe DM me and I'll help you. But It was straightforward for me. It was straightforward for me. Right? Um, yeah, yeah. Tavares, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I'm not disagreeing with you. Um, no, well, if everybody was holding, it wouldn't be going up. I'm sure some persons are selling. That's why others are able to buy. The moment there's doubt, well, it depends. You know what, Tavares, let's take this up when I do my stocks to watch for 2025. Because full disclosure, Trans Jamaica is on that list. So I'll talk about it some more then. Okay. Do I think Tesla would perform well going forward? Um, I don't know. I don't know. But guys, this was fun as usual. So I hope to see you for my next video. The next one should hopefully be our stocks to watch for 2025. So I should be able to do that next Friday. But we do have our conference in the month, so I won't be able to go live stream that Friday. And the week after, so our pitch competition is going to be launched tomorrow. So look out for that. And yeah. I haven't looked at it, Shells. Trump media stock. No. I would not even remotely consider that. Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now. I don't know what YouTube is tracking or what it will censor. Okay. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.
Life as an entrepreneur is never easy, right? There's always that question in the back of your mind. Am I good enough? Will I make enough this month to cover the bills? What if more people start doing the same thing? That constant lack of control can drive you crazy. But here's the thing. Just like me, you've probably stumbled your way forward to some major wins. Or maybe you're still working on it. Either way, it doesn't always have to be a struggle. You have the chance to gain insights from top local and international experts in entrepreneurship and investment, sharing real practical steps to take your business to the next level, where you not have to feel for learn. All you need to do is join us either online or in person for the annual Grow Your Wealth Conference on November 29 to 30, 2024. This 2-day event is all about learning, growing, and investing in your future, both as an entrepreneur and as an individual. With actionable strategies, networking opportunities, and insider tips, you'll be setting yourself up for an even greater 2025 and beyond. So why not give your business an early Christmas gift that future you will be proud of? Grab your ticket today at learngrowinvestconference.com and I'll see you there.